Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning and welcome. It's Nurse Richard, the Wax Wizard. Thanks for joining me. Straight into it today. Now this was one of the most frustrating ones I've done in a very long time. You'll probably get frustrated with it as well, so imagine how I felt having to do it. Not all wax removals are simple, they're really not. And this is one of the most difficult ones I've done for a while, for a couple of reasons. Firstly, it's quite deep in the ear. It's possibly this lady. It's just a failure of the skin to migrate properly out of the ear. I mean, the skin, the top layer of the eardrum. If you don't know, if you've not watched the channel much before, the majority of earwax is just dead skin that's trying to migrate out the ear. It kind of moves sideways like a conveyor belt. It gets compared to quite a lot, and for some reason in this lady, it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't move out like it's supposed to. So it kind of builds up right deep down the ear. You can just see, can't you, there, the fresher layer of dead skin underneath there. I've put some oil in there to hopefully help this. This is the fine-end tube. These tubes are exceptionally tiny. They're really, really small. And when it's this deep in the ear, it's always safer to use this for a couple of reasons. It's quieter because the other one can be a bit noisy. Yes, it's a bit more powerful, but this one's quieter. But you have more vision. You can see better because it's a smaller tube. It's not obstructing the view, so you can see what you're doing. But as I'm getting hold of this and trying to peel it down and peel it away from the canal walls, I'm beginning to realise how firmly impacted this is. It's absolutely solid, and at the moment just little bits are coming away at a time. So like I said, it is a frustrating one, but bear with it. You will notice, if you haven't already, that the bottom, and I didn't notice this until I was editing the video, that the bottom edge of it is slightly shadowy, is slightly missing. I'll explain, it's not a perfect circle. I'll explain the reason for that. So this is the endoscope here, and in the endoscope it sits in this little holder here, this little bracket. Now I think what's happened here is I haven't pushed the iPod in firmly up there, so it wasn't sitting perfectly at the top of the bracket here, therefore it wasn't completely lined up with the camera and the light here. It was like just slightly down a little bit. I'm trying to pull it out there, so I'll see if I can do that. There we go. So it might have been just slightly loose from there, and it just needed pushing in there. But I'll be honest, I didn't really notice at the time, only afterwards. Hopefully it doesn't spoil your enjoyment of this video. Anyway, you can still clearly see what's going on. There's just a little bit, the bottom bit missing. So as you can see how dark this is, now that's an indicator of how long it's been there, which I think this lady has seen me before. It was over a year ago. It's still a fair amount to build up in a year. And she doesn't really notice it's a problem until the final piece of the jigsaw, so to speak, until the last little bit. Because you still, even if you've got a plug that's blocking maybe 80-90% of the ear, there's still some sound getting through. So she didn't really notice it was too much of a problem. Nothing discernibly noticeable anyway. But when that last gap closes, obviously that's when people notice and people think it's just come on all of a sudden. Where it hasn't, obviously, it's just been building up over time, and then you have the straw that brought the camel's back, so to speak. As you can probably tell, I'm still struggling to get over this dose of man flu that I've had. It's really lingering, this. Not lingering to the point where I can't come into work because I work for myself. There's no sick pay when you work for yourself. It's the one thing I do miss about my old job in public health. You get paid for going on holiday. You get paid for being ill as well. It's not the case when you work for yourself. So when this started coming here, I thought that's the key to it all. The whole thing's going to start coming now. It really didn't. I wish it did. because it's not just, it's probably stuck right around the bends, as some of you may know. As the ear gets nearer to the eardrum, it narrows in, and then it widens again. So what's happening is the thing that's in there, it's bigger than the gap I'm trying to get it out of. Kind of square peg through a round hole, I suppose, is the saying that we're looking for. I don't know if that's a saying just around here, or you guys have heard that one before, but yeah, it's trying to fit a square peg through a round hole. It looks like it's all coming there, doesn't it? Here she comes. This wax baby's really struggling, isn't it? I think maybe this wax baby needs a cesarean to get things going. But as you can see, we've brought it from really deep down in the ear. And so it's just a case of getting it out the ear now. Out it pops.
There she is.
Again, forgot to get in it. No, I didn't forget. I just didn't have time to get an image of that on the tray with the ruler. I have promised in the previous video that I will start taking more pictures of them. The reason I didn't is that these ones were recorded before Christmas. I think it's middle of January. I don't know. I'm looking at the watch. It doesn't tell me what date it is. Middle of January now. So the ones I've been recording from now onwards do have a few more in, you know. But you can see them when they come out the ear anyway. So hopefully none of you are too bothered that there's it's not often that there's a little ruler shot on. This one was really frustrating as well. Now, it's quite unusual for it to end up here where it has, as this skin's failing to migrate out the ear. It's stuck to the roof of the ear canal. Now, ordinarily, that would be the case when you've been shoving something in there. You know, to push it onto the sides of the canal wall, but that's not been the case here. I suspect it's just the top layer of skin of the eardrum that's shedding and trying to travel out the ear, and it's just moving too slow, getting trapped in the recess, and then slowly building up behind that. But as soon as I can get this to peel off the top, then I'm hoping that will again all come out with it. I don't think it did though. So again, I had to go in with a good old dose of olive oil in there to hopefully help me get a better grip and slightly help to unstick it from the canal walls, because it's really adhered. It's proper stuck and wedged in there. And you can't go gung-ho with this. Yeah, it probably would have come out quite easy if you'd got a full-size tubing down there, but this is in the bony part of the ear. It's really deep. It's close to the canal walls, and there's just too much risk involved in putting the big tube in there. So you have to be quite patient when you're doing this kind of work. I mean, you have to be patient if you're doing this kind of job anyway, to be honest, because it can be really frustrating. It's quite easy to spot when I'm getting frustrated when I'm watching a video. I'm quite calm normally, but if you see me really shaking something and trying to get it out, you know, oh, he's getting annoyed with it now. Obviously, I'm not going to shake something when it's this deep down in here. You've just got to be so careful. I think we're starting to see a bit of movement of the whole thing now there. So if I can just lift that up there from the bait, but a little bit keeps breaking off. This is why it gets frustrating sometimes. When you think the whole thing's about to peel away and jump up, just a little bit breaks off. Because it's like flakes. It's very old flakes of dead skin. So it's not always the case that it's all moulded together in one ball. You know, it's lots and lots of tiny little pieces. you can just actually see a little glimpse of the eardrum there, can't you? Just to the right of the suction tube. You can see a bit on the left now. There we go. So again, not coming away in one piece. So let's go and get that bit. This is literally sitting right on top of the eardrum. That. So I just pull the suction tube away again there, just so you can get a good look before you go back down in the ear. I think I probably figured. I'm hoping this bit at the roof of the ear canal is attached to that bit that's stuck on the eardrum. So if I can peel that down, hopefully that will come with it. But it doesn't. It's just bit by bit. Yeah, so if you guys have got any home remedies that you swear by to get rid of man flu, please let me know. I'm getting a bit bored of this one now. It's been nearly a fortnight here, and I know a lot of people have been struggling with it here in the UK. I think a lot of these viruses are becoming a bit cleverer than they used to be. Maybe our immune system's not what it used to be, or they're just finding a way around it. I've tried Lemsips and hot toddies, plenty of paracetamol, Nurofen. It's not a lot you can do really about viruses, let's be honest. I do know a lot of people who swear by Manuka honey when it comes to colds and viruses and what have you like that. There is some evidence in it. I did look into it once. There you go, peel that bit off the eardrum there. It's very good with wounds. I used to use Manuka honey to treat wounds. But yeah, there is some science that it may help with the immune system a little bit. So this last bit, this is a really awkward bit to get into. I've really had to pop the endoscope in quite deep in the ear and just really stretch it so I can get to this bit at the top left of the ear canal without touching the canal wall at the side there. It's not easy to do, but just about managed it there. Lovely and clear after that. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. But for now, take care of yourself and I will see you later. Bye-bye.